Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Bhavna Joshi and I will be taking the subject childhood and growing up. So in this subject today we will be studying about the emotional development of the child, and this topic is in your unit 2 of childhood and growing up, BEd 101. So let's start. So it is very important to know exactly what is the meaning of the word emotion. Emotion, as you can see, that it is derived from a Latin word that means emovere, which means to stir up or to be excited. So emotions are what? Emotions is an excited state of our mind as well as our body. So I have given the two definitions which you can see on your screen. One is from Woodworth and the second is from Crow and Crow. So let's see. So according to Woodworth, emotion is a moved or stirred up state of an organism, and it is a stirred up state of feelings. That is the way it appears to the individual himself. So basically, what is emotion? It is a state where our feelings are stirred up, and it is disturbed muscular and glandular activity. That is the way it appears to an external observer. That means the someone who is seeing you will see that it is a disturbed muscular and glandular activity. In the words of Crow and Crow, emotion is an effective experience that accompanies generalized linear adjustment and mental and psychological stirred up state. So it is, according to Crow, it is the stirred up mental and psychological state of an individual that is, that shows itself in his overt behavior. Two type of behavior are there. One is covert, that is the inner you, and the overt, which can be visible to the other person. So it is the overt behavior. Next, characteristics of emotions. First is emotional experience are always associated with some instinct or some biological drive. And they are the product of your perception. How you perceive things, what perception you have, the result of it will be the emotions. Then the core of an emotion is feelings, and emotion are prevalent in every living organism. We know that it is without emotions a living being cannot be a living being. That is the main difference between a living and a non-living thing. We have emotions, non-living thing doesn't have an emotion. So they are present at all stages of development. So you cannot say that an infant or a childhood or an adolescent or an adult or an old person doesn't have emotions. At every stage of life, a person experience emotions. So next is emotions are very individualistic, and they differ from person to person. It is not that if A is experiencing a specific emotion, then the B will also experience a specific emotion. It is not like that. It is very individualistic, and even the twins will not experience the same emotions. Next comes the same emotion can be aroused by a number of different stimuli, objects, or situations. Emotions can be aroused by different objects, different stimuli, and different type of situations. Then emotions can rise abruptly. It is not that it will come on gradually only. Always it will come gradually. It just arises. That emotional flow will come abruptly. And then emotion have the quality of displacement also, and there is always a negative correlation between the upsurge. Upsurge means the growth, that means the upcoming, that is the increase of emotions and intelligence. So it is negative. They both are negatively correlated. The increase of emotion and the intelligence, there is a negative correlation between the same. Correlation is the relationship. Next is emotional development. So emotions, as we all know, they are very crucial for any human being, and they are very important. They play a very important role in the life of an individual. Emotions are crucially important aspect of our psychological composition, having meaning and function to each of us individually. So basically, emotions are composed of three components. the subjective component, the psychological component, and the expressive component. Now here the word subjective component means how we experience the emotions. That is our that is one component. How as an individual I am experiencing the emotion. That is subjective. It will differ from person to person. The way I am experiencing an emotion will not be same with the other person also. Then the second component is psychological component. That is how our body reacts to that emotion. Whatever emotion is coming, if it is anger, if it is jealousy, if it is happiness, whatever emotion is coming, how our body is reacting to it. Then that is physiological component. And the third is the expressive component. Expressive component is how we behave in response to that emotion. So that is what emotion is all about. So it is subjective, it is physiological, and it is expressive. So how I experience, how my body reacts to that emotion, and how I actually behave in response to that emotion. Next is functions of emotion. So emotions can motivate us to take action. Yes, they can motivate us to take any action. If you are angry, you are very angry. Maybe you will hit something or hit someone. That emotion of anger emotion is motivating you to take that action. The next is emotions help us survive, thrive, and avoid danger. Then emotion serves as adaptive role in our life. They by motivating us to act quickly, because as I said, they just abrupt anytime and take action, and that will maximize our chances of survival as well as success. So basically emotion serves as an adaptive role. Then emotions can help us in making decision. Basically it is said that when you are very emotional, you should not take a decision because it will not be logical, but emotions help us to make decision. You may feel, if you are empathetic towards other, if you have that empathy emotion in you, then obviously you will take decision likewise. The next, emotion help allow other people to understand us. As I said, if you are empathetic, you will be able to understand the condition the other person is going on. And then emotion allows us to understand others also. The next is the educational implication. Now, how a teacher can, basically use the emotion and contribute to the emotional development of the child. Let's study about this. So the first point says that teachers should be emotionally mature and should act as a role model for the child. A teacher should act as a source of inspiration, so that the student can copy them, can model them. If the teacher is emotionally mature, the student will act like them, and they will also, this will also increase their contribute to the emotional development of the child. Next is teacher should be sympathetic and patient towards the emotional problem of the student. So it is very important that when a child is going through some emotional problem in his life, the teacher needs to be sympathetic. I should say a teacher needs to be empathetic and patient also. Teacher should be able to understand those emotions with which the child is going on. Then whenever possible, children should be encouraged to express their emotions in any way. They should be encouraged to express their emotions. That should not accumulate in they should not accumulate those emotions in themselves only. Now counseling can be great in matters and cases of acute emotional stress. Counseling is a great help. So a teacher should act as a counselor also. Now, teachers should not expect much from the students, in the sense that you cannot expect a child to be emotionally developed. if they are going through some emotional problems, they will express it. So a teacher should not expect too much from a child, that okay, the child is in the adolescent stage, the child should be emotionally developed. No, we have already studied about the various stages, and we have studied that emotional maturity comes by and by. It is not related to the age, obviously, but then also you cannot expect a child or a adolescent to be emotionally mature. So teachers should give the students enough independence to express themselves. Then teachers should be able to utilize the good effect of emotions. That means that those emotions should be turned positively, in the say in a way that these emotions contribute as a motivating factor, that they can do it. These emotions should be strength for the children, not weakness for the child. Teachers should try to get rid of the bad effects of the emotions. Yes, there are bad effects, like the child is very angry, maybe he will hurt himself or hurt someone else. So any side effect of the emotions, that should a teacher should try, that should not the child should be taken away from this situation. Now, a teacher should be aware about various causes of emotional problems. Why? A teacher is the one who needs to be a philosopher, a guide, a counselor for a child. So she should be, she should analyze what kind of emotional problems a child of this particular age goes through, and what could be the various causes of these emotional problems. So those emotional problems, the teacher should be aware of those causes of these emotional problems. Then teacher should be aware of various criteria of emotional maturity. How a teacher can contribute towards the emotional maturity of the child, that is a very big question, and a teacher needs to work on this. So I hope you all understood about the word emotion and emotional development, and what is the role of the teacher in it. Thank you very much.